Claus the black man. Santa Claus the black man and his handsome like my daddy too. Santa Claus the black man. Santa Claus the black man, and I found out that's what I'm telling you.
Hey guys, so I'm very excited to talk to you guys about my current highlighter collection. To be quite honest, I don't see me getting rid of very many, if any, of these highlighters because I really do enjoy my highlighters. And I haven't really brought too many in that I felt disappointed about. There are certain categories where I'm going to kind of weed out one or two items. But as I've said pretty much in all of my videos this year when it comes to my collection, series, I'm very content with my collection. I did take out my green organizers just because it was becoming a bit irritating, and I don't mind it being in a bit of array or disarray, really, as you can see it is now. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing my collection, then let's just get to it. So let me go ahead and take everything out, and then I can kind of showcase to you guys what they are and all of that jazz. I am going to do my absolute best not to swatch because I don't have the time today. And honestly, I don't want this to be a super long video. So let's break this down. Okay, so I have quite a few highlighters. I have absolutely no idea how many highlighters are actually showcased here, but I do have quite a few. The only highlighter here that actually has more shades than one in the compact is my Dior, and that's just because the size of it is actually small enough to fit in here. Otherwise, any product that has more than one of like the cheek item is actually in my face palettes if it's too big, and you'll see that towards the end once I showcase my face palettes. But let me just kind of go through these. So I actually got this year, and this is from Sigma. This is from Sigma Beauty, and I have this in Golden Hour. This is a beautifully smooth, very natural kind of highlighter. I absolutely love this formula. I would highly recommend you to check out their formula. If you don't want something that is glittery and very apparent, I am telling you guys, I actually wore this to my old job, and I actually got a compliment on my highlighter specifically. And that individual, to my knowledge, actually doesn't even wear makeup, and she's never commented on my makeup before, but this day she actually did, and I will forever remember that when it comes to this highlighter. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is the collaboration between Dose of Colors and I Love Sarahi, and this is her Bathe highlighter. This is a beautiful, smooth, creamy highlighter. I absolutely adore it. This has like a slight rosy tint to it, even though it doesn't look like it. Great highlighter. Highly recommend. Another beautiful Dose of Colors highlighter is actually the one that they collaborated with Desi and Katie. I believe this was Desi's particular shade, and this is Chasing the Sun. I was obsessed with this highlighter quite literally when I originally got it, and it took me quite some time to tell myself to stop using it. So definitely not getting rid of this. Definitely a love that I need to kind of revisit. That's kind of my thing when it comes to all of these highlighters. I just need to revisit them. So this is a MAC Holiday in Snow Flushed. This is the highlighter that makes me think I need to get all of the MAC collections highlighters. I don't. This was the one, and I'm very happy with this. This is a multi-chrome with glitter, shifty beautifulness. I absolutely adore this highlighter, and if they ever come out with another collection very similar to this, I would recommend it. And sorry about the reflection. So yeah. A highlighter that I wasn't too much in love with actually is Late Night Coastin'. This is from Give Me Glow, and I felt like this was really icy for my complexion. Like, extremely icy for my complexion. So I actually think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I do have friends that are lighter complexion, darker complexion, all of the above. To me, it's the one good thing about being in a sorority, but just also being from a very diverse area. So I'm going to actually give this to somebody else that in hopes that they can get use out of it. One of my friends, literally, she loves to joke that her whole collection is literally my decluttered items. So now she can have a new item to add to her collection. All right, I do have these two loose highlighters. I keep these in my collection literally just so I don't buy another or get another, and they'll just continue to stay. They're not doing anything bad. They can stay. I'll just put them in the back of my organizer. Let's see. This is a Kylie highlighter. This is actually a really good highlighter. This is in the shade Chocolate Greedy. It is deep, but it's actually not too deep for my skin tone. There's enough iciness to it that it works. So I like it. I'll keep it. I spend my money. Not really bent out of shape about this. This is a highlighter that nobody else enjoyed but me, pretty much. This is the Vlada and Smashbox collaboration in the shade Petal Metal highlighter. This is a very smooth highlighter. It's not an overly shimmery or overly like glow to the gods, but it's really, really pretty nonetheless. And it is a rosy kind of gold type color. So I am definitely keeping this. Alrighty, then we have a couple of Becca highlighters. I know the brand is no longer in business, but they have their stuff through like Smashbox, I want to say. I don't really remember. This one is Chocolate Geode. This is one of the darkest highlighters that I have. It's very, very beautiful. Absolutely keeping this. And then another one that I have is Dreamsicle. This is an orange, beautiful goodness. Absolutely love it. Keeping it. I kept my favorites after Becca went out of business. I believe they went out of business last year, and I kept all my favorites from that situation. Now, one that I picked up this year, I believe it was this year, on an extremely good discount is from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Cognac Candy, and I'm not in love with this one. I really am not. I think that it is okay, but it's just not as pretty, in my opinion, as the silvery one. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of this one. Somebody else hopefully can get some use out of it. So yeah. I'm sure one of my friends will love it, just honestly because the name is Fenty Beauty. This is the one that I actually really do love. This is How Many Carats. I understand that you would think that I wouldn't like this one, but this one I like because I feel like it pops off of my skin better than that one. So this is the one, like I said, in How Many Carats, and that's the one that I am keeping. The one Give Me Glow, or is that, this isn't Give Me Glow, this is JD Glow. This is the one that I kept, and this is in Chaos. This is their multi-chrome. It is quite thick, but I actually really do enjoy it. Why am I swatching everything now? I said I wasn't going to do this. It's not the best multi-chrome, but it's really, really good. And since I hit pan, I feel like I must keep her to show that momentous occasion, you know. One that I keep mainly because of the packaging is this, and this is from Touch of Glam, and this is their Hocus Pocus collaboration. Absolutely love it. It's extremely icy, but I keep it because I love Hocus Pocus, and I did see the second one, and I did almost cry in the second one too because it was that good. Half Magic, I got this year. This is in the shade Light Trap, or no, that's the type of product. This is Enter the Glow. I really like this highlighter. It doesn't look like it would be something that would work on me, but I love an orangey toned highlighter and I like the formula. So definitely keeping. Two that have exceptional packaging are these two from Odin's Eye, and I have two shades, one that's unique in Warm Sunshine and the other one that is Rose Sky. The shade actually looks like the sticker color, which I think is really, really smart of the brand to have done. And if I can get them open, there you go. So these are two very, very beautiful highlighters. I am so happy that I picked them both up. And if you look in the mirror, you can see the area that I got use out of, and you can see what the tone looks like on my skin. So I love both of these. Highly recommend checking them out, especially if you can get them on sale, because their stuff is quite expensive. And yeah, they're a European based brand. This is an oldie, but I feel like still a goodie. This is the Pixie by Petra Subtle Sunrise Duo. I actually got both of these duos, and the other one I just felt overall I didn't enjoy, whereas this particular tone right here was my favorite between all four shades. So I kept it. I really would love to pan this. I should try and think about doing that. I haven't really decided what I'm going to be panning next year. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be this highlighter, because I've been really enjoying a more smooth highlighter than the more glittery highlighter that I started off panning this year. Two Pat McGrath highlighters that I got. One was the dark gold one and the other one was the lighter one. So let's see. This top one is gold 02 and the bottom one is iridescent 02. So I prefer the iridescent to the gold. The iridescent is just a lighter, whiter gold. I just prefer this tone to this tone. But I don't know if I'm ready to actually get rid of the gold one. I probably shouldn't I? I should get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm getting rid of the gold one. I know I'm just not going to get any use out of that. It's the only true gold that I have. I'm keeping it. It's just such a pretty palette. It's just a pretty highlighter, and you can't stop me. Nobody can. So my only highlighter to date right now from Melt is this baby right here, and it's Genesis. I was lusting after this highlighter for so long, and then I got it and I was like, oh, that's it? Okay. So yeah, you know, food for thought for anything that you're lusting after. It might not be all that good once you get it, but I'm going to keep it because it's not terrible. It's just not... It's not a love. I can get use out of it. It's just not a love. Something else that I don't think I should keep this. I've tested it out and it's just too light. I really thought this wasn't going to be as light as it is. This is Ray Ryder from Caladios and it's just really light. It's pretty much like on this level. Let's swatch it to see if it is. I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, it's like pretty much the same thing, except I guess it has a little bit more gold. Maybe I'll keep it as like my light highlighter, whereas I kept the dark goldy one from Pat for my dark one. The other two I have from Caladios is Laser Glazer. I think this one is no longer available. And then Mars Melter, which I think they reformulated this one as well. I think I'm going to keep them all for now. I really do like the Caladios highlighters and I don't have very many because I really do take the time to see which ones I really need. This was my favorite of the two highlighters that I had from Laura Geller, and this is in Peach Glow. Absolutely love this highlighter. Definitely keeping it. I really love a peachy kind of orangey toned highlighter. Same with this one. This is Makeup Monsters before they switched to Menagerie Cosmetics, and this is a favorite. I wish they would come out with a highlighter in their new kind of range, but they haven't so far. Yes, they have. I just haven't picked any up. That's what it is. But so far I'm gonna keep this one, and maybe in the future I will pick up one of their newer formulas. The last little small one that I have is from Cleona Cosmetics. This is their collaboration that they did with Emily Violet Marie. I have it in the shade Tropico. I think this is a beautiful highlighter. Absolutely love it. We'll definitely be keeping that one. It is definitely a staple now. This is another great highlighter. From what I heard, this is actually no longer available, which is stupid. This is in the shade Jupiter. I love this highlighter. This highlighter actually was one of the very first that I had that had a glittery finish to it that I loved. And so that's why I went on my rampage of glittery highlighters. Absolutely love this. This is from Lunar Beauty. Highly recommend if they ever bring it back. Next is actually this Dior highlighter palette. As you can see, I got so much use out of this one particular shade. I really like all of them except for this one. This one's too deep for me, but this is in the color family of Copper Gold. I really love this highlighter palette. Highly recommend them. A lot of use for your money, which is really good. I also have two singular Dior highlighters. I don't even know who I thought I was when I picked these up, but let's talk about them nonetheless. I have two, one that is in 07 and one that is in 04. I believe the 07 is the peachy tone. Yep. And this is no longer available. This was a limited edition shade. Very, very much happy to have this. And then in the 04 shade, I believe this is in their normal range. And once again, very, very happy to have this. These are both more smooth highlighters that don't really give off too much shine, but give off a decent, respectable amount. So I do appreciate them for that. And I'm very happy to have them both in my collection. So the next really nice smooth highlighter that I have is from Colored Rain. This is another kind of darker highlighter that somehow just works for me. This is in the shade Your Treat. I really do like this one, so I am going to continue to keep it, but I don't envision getting another particular highlighter from Colored Rain. Ofra also has a solid formula, as I'm sure you know. This is Beam the Haters. Absolutely love this color, so that's why I've kept it. All of the other highlighter colors that were presented that were really, really popular at the time, I realized they didn't actually work for somebody of my skin tone, but this one does, so I'm very happy to have it. Then we have the Morphe Boom highlighter. I don't really know why I keep bringing this back after I declutter it. It's a basic highlighter. I don't particularly love Morphe, but I keep it. It's really, really thick. I don't know. I keep it, so I'm just not going to even bother trying to declutter it. I'm just going to keep it for now. About Face. So their highlighter, I have it in the shade Stay in Bed. This is really pretty, actually. Very, very pretty. Unexpectedly pretty. I do really, really like it. One of my favorite highlighter pickups this year is this baby right here. And this is from House Labs in the shade Fire Opal. I know a couple people had difficulty actually getting this to work on their skin. This seems to pick up beautifully with my Sigma highlighter brush. I absolutely love this color. It's a beautiful color. Highly recommend. Two more shades that I need to talk about. This one is from Givenchy. This was a highlighter that they came out with holiday quite a few years ago. I actually picked this up with a friend that I met through social media. So I don't think I will ever get rid of this particular one. I already got rid of the other one, but this one meant more to me and I just loved the color more. So that one is probably going to always be in my collection. And then last is this baby right here. I think this is a decent highlighter formula. It's very, very smooth, but I don't find anything outstanding about it, especially in comparison to some of the other highlighters I picked up this year. So like I said, once again, I am very, very happy with my range and my colors and all of the different formulas that I've picked up throughout the years. This is definitely something that took me years to kind of hone this collection, and I'm very happy with it. So I don't feel the need to really get rid of any of these. I think they're all worth it to keep. I am, of course, getting rid of these two though. They just didn't really meet the cut, and hopefully they will work better for somebody else's skin tone that I know. But with that said, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this quick little collection video, but also semi declutter, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye guys.